Windows Services. Visual Studio has supported Windows Services projects since .NET 1.0. To create a Windows Service project, select File, New, Project, select the Visual C#/Windows branch of the navigation tree, and then select Windows Service. The Windows Service project contains a couple of items that are unique. This section explains what they are and how to get the codes which are created on a new Windows Service project. Notice that there aren't any spaces in the name of the project. Default spaces don't work with Windows services. A Windows service consists of method overrides that you implement to make your service work. The code for a service has several overridden methods corresponding to the events of a service, such as start, pause, continue, and stop. To implement onStart and onStop, the wizard provides a step-by-step creation within the shell code for creating the Windows Service project. To view the code for the Windows Service, either select the blank design surface or the Solution Explorer file for services 1.cs, right-click and select View Code. Implementing Windows Service method overrides. Implementing onStart and onStop. The method overrides in a Windows service to get your program to work. The onStart and onStop methods are shown here as minimal implementation. The onStart method can be called when the OS boots and starts services marked as automatic. It can also be called manually via the Services console that you can find via your OS Administrative Tools panel. The onStart method of a Windows service has a total of 60 seconds to complete. To avoid timeout, you can launch running processes on a thread, which enables the onStart method to finish on time. Installing a Windows service. The installer has two parts: a service process installer and a service installer. The service process installer configures a service installer. The service installer provides setup for individual services, meaning that you can have multiple services running in the same process. Select the service process installer and open the Properties window to configure it. The most important property to set is Account. The available settings are one of the service account enums values. The most configurable option is User, where you can give the service a machine or domain account. Controller to communicate with a Windows service. Control a Windows service from a separate application. SQL Server Taskbar app is a good example. The example we use is a WPF application. So if you're following along, create a new WPF application and add a couple of buttons to the window with content properties set to start and stop, and with name properties set to button start and button stop respectively.